interesting. This is a flip video.
Okay, well, we're here
relax.
with Mark Kramer, and Mark's working on a number of things in mobile learning.
Correct.
He's with the University of Salzburg, and he can tell us about the project. But I want to know, last night when we talked, before I knew it, I was being interviewed and it was being streamed to the net. What was that all about, and what's your view of mobile learning?
Okay, well, last night we were using a tool called Quick. This is QIK, and the website is qik.net or .com. There's QIK. And it's a software that we use with Nokia Series 60 devices to allow you to stream live video content to the net. And then it's saved on a server, and this can be tagged, distributed, embedded, whatever. But it gives a unique view of what people are doing live from their phone to the world. So you can reach broad audiences. And I've been using it since December of last year, so to speak. And I think the software itself has been around maybe 6-7 months. So some of the early adopters are people like Robert Scoble, and actually I wouldn't say Michael Arrington, because he's sort of a late adopter on that, but he's very much promoting it. And what's interesting when you see people like TechCrunch, Michael Arrington and Robert Scoble, whenever they have a video, they're actually traveling the world to different conferences and events. And so they're the eyes and ears for many people who can't make these events. So this is the beauty of, let's say, Quick is using it for conferences to be able to broadcast the live event to millions, theoretically.
But it's funny, last time I saw Scoble, I was at the Macworld conference, and I thought, well, I'll see if I can get a jump on it. So I actually videotaped him interviewing the people from Engadget about the conference. So it was a little play within a play.
It's fascinating.
But
what I've seen as another example, for instance, the World Economic Forum, which happens every January in different parts of the world, but in Davos, Louis Clémeur and Robert Scoble and Michael Arrington was there also, but Robert was really using Quick and giving us an inside view that has never been accessible before. So he was interviewing people, and we were interacting with him, sending chat suggestions for questions. But it was an interesting feeling that you to be able to participate in a semi-closed event. And what I found interesting is that, for instance, Bono from U2 was they're using YouTube as a platform for people to give questions for the world leaders. And Bono was giving his reaction to the Davos question, and Robert Scoble was actually recording Bono making a recording of the Davos for his response. But then you can see these things on the net. You can see from different perspectives. The YouTube perspective from Bono, and then you can see Robert's perspective of and I've never experienced something like that before, where you can see 2 or 3 different perspectives on a single event.
It will keep the press honest.
Anyway, the reason I share that is because I think the tools are sort of evolving in a sense to video. It's much easier to just take out something and videotape. Whereas if you have to write, sometimes you reflect a little more, and then you write something, and it takes longer. But the instantaneous access you have from video is what's really going to change a lot of the ways how we interact. And there are a lot of other platforms similar, but more asynchronous. I think Seismic is an example of using video conversations or video discussions.
Now, a lot of people at this event are talking about e-portfolios. Are they talking about use of real-time video in e-portfolios at all, or e-portfolios always sort of a reflection of past events?
I'm not sure. I mean, we haven't heard the discussions yet, but I could, from my perspective, for instance, people from different skill levels, even if someone is illiterate, most people can pick up a video camera and record something. They don't necessarily have to write. So I think video technology will actually broaden the base of people capturing their worlds to document what skills they have or what things they can do, or to give their perspective on the world. So I'm excited to see how video being implemented in e-portfolios will allow those who probably don't have basic literacy skills to be able to document their own world.
Wow. Tell me, how are people going to be able to find out more about what you're doing, what you're thinking, what URL should they go to? Or
me personally, well, mamk.net or .mobi,
okay.
.org, mamk.
All right.
I'm doing a doctoral research on what's the future of learning, and I'm seeing that learning is moving more towards more mobile, not just mobile in technology, but sharing ideas and exchange of knowledge is becoming more prevalent now. It's not just the passive lectures, but actually the interaction and the back noise that goes behind schools. And it's the tools like this that are actually allowing us to capture the back channel chatter within classrooms, but also exchanging of information that goes on beyond the classroom as well.
All right, fascinating. Well, thank you very, very much.
But I have actually one last
one
thing.
more point.
I think we talk about learning, formal or informal or non-formal, but I think one fascinating thing which we should start researching is how people use these tools for cheating. Because not that we should focus on the cheating, but I found that most people are using these mobile technologies for ways to get around the system. And if we somehow get a bird's eye view or get some perspective on how people use these tools to get around the system, then we can learn how to really capture the attention of students to really engage them and motivate them to really learn instead of spending the energy to cheat. This is something I've been observing recently, and I think there's very little research on this.
Well, it sounds right to me. I mean, if I want people to read something, all I have to do is call it a cheat sheet. And then it seems, oh, well, that's okay. I'll do that. It's short.
Yeah. Maybe the word cheating is not the best thing. I think they're finding creative ways to self-organize to accomplish a task.
Absolutely.
And that's what this conference is about, self-organization. When I'm looking at it, I've had students, and they've felt open enough to share with me how they self-organize to pass an exam. And it's amazing what they do. Really. There's so much creativity and energy going into finding ways to cheat, where if they use the same energy to actually learn, then they wouldn't need to.
I think maybe rather than cheating, which sounds, like something nasty, it's getting around the system, and often it's a broken system that it's getting around. So
it's just an indicator that I think education systems have not, let's say, evolved to really accommodate the type of learning that's really happening. And it's research such as mine, just trying to look into the world of how people really are learning to help policymakers as well as educators reflect how can we change the way we approach education to adapt to this changing world.
Absolutely. Well,
that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Auf Wiedersehen.
Thanks.